Hi, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Backcast, where I, Adam Upper, talk with Brayon Ketty to talk about Batman, the animated series. And this week's episode is Second Chance. How you doing today, sir?
I'm excited. We're watching a Jack Palance movie. Second Chance, the 1953 Technicolor movie. We're watching Carl Grissom.
Oh man, I thought you were going to talk about Curly's Gold or
Uh,
oh, yeah, City Slickers. That's what it is. Like Curly's Gold was like the subtitle in the second one. Yeah, so I don't know why like Curly's Gold stuck out, and not the actual name of the two movies. But I wonder if those movies hold up. It's been like a long time since I've seen those or even thought about those movies.
I've never even heard or seen of them.
Wait, what the Billy Crystal and like Daniel Stern movies? So they were like suburb guys, and they want to like act like they be like get something going, so they go and try and be like go to like a pretend like go to like a cattle ranch and like pretend to be like cattle guys for like a week or something like that.
Not ringing a bell.
Hmm.
Add it to the Empire Records list.
Well, at least you've heard of that movie before, but but anyway, but we were here to talk about Second Chance. It is the 80th episode produced, and is the 72nd episode to air, airing September 12th, 1994. So we're definitely getting like later on in the year, so obviously because we're that this deep into the episodes. Yeah, do you remember what you're doing September 12th, 1994?
I thought I had the right date. I thought it said September 17th. So now I'm gonna look and quickly see what was going on
Yeah,
September 12th, 1994.
no, all right. Sorry, you're right. No, you're right. I'm blinded at 17th.
Well, you
You're
did
good.
just get your eyes checked,
Yeah,
so
so my bad. Yes, yeah, you are right. It is
yeah.
September 17th. My bad. So
Uh,
September 17th, 1994.
there
My
you go.
bad.
I was at the 19th Toronto International Film Festival, where Priest was directed by Antonia Bird and won the People's Choice Award. Fun fact, that had two Batman alumni in there. Linus Roach, who played Thomas Wayne in Batman Begins, and Tom Wilkinson, who played Carmine Falcone in Batman Begins.
But I don't know that. Don't know that movie though, so I'll have to
That's
look
on your Empire Records list.
that. Well, we'll see. And
Oh, I see. I have to watch the stuff on my list. I see how it is.
well, if it's just some random movie, then like, but Empire isn't just no, just some random movie though. So,
Neither is Titanic. But yeah, we're back to Two Face. It's been a while
yeah.
since we've seen good old Harv.
Uh, but Before we get there, though, the teleplay is by Jerry Conway, and the story is by Paul Dini and Michael Reeves. So that's probably why it's probably one of the better episodes, because it's the Paul Dini one, and directed by Boyd Kirkland. But yeah, I was thinking that too, just as we're starting, because like last week I had forgotten that was like a Two Face episode, so I was going into it like, and then I had seen this episode before, but was realizing that it had been a minute since we've had our last Two Face episode. Definitely.
I think this is the only Two Face episode I haven't seen before rewatching this. Well, watching this for the show, I mean.
Yeah. So yeah, so this the first time for this episode?
Hmm.
Nice. So, yeah. So, yeah, but yeah. So, well, what was the last Two Face episode? Was it the trial episode, or like the poker, like the almost got him?
No, I think
Was
it was either Trial or it was Shadow of the Bat, where like Batgirl first appeared. He definitely appeared more in that than he did in Trial. Like he wasn't just like kind of blended in with the rest of the Arkham's rogues.
yeah. But yeah, this episode starts off with like it's like a rainy night, and Batman and Robin are like kind of peering over like the edge of a building. And do they say anything at this? Oh yeah, I think that Robin asks if like yeah, do you think this operation will actually make Harvey better? And Batman's like, uh, it's like, I hope so.
Yeah.
Hey, he better. I'm putting out all this money, man. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
I
He's
usually
my
just throw
friend.
money at problems and they go away.
He is my friend, but this is costing me a small fortune. Actually, not really. I paid for this hospital, so it's but at this point, it's like small beans for like just making me sit out in the rain when I could be doing like other stuff in the rain.
I sold an NFT for this. The NFT was just a picture of Batman.
Yeah, I had Batman under the cowl.
Yeah.
One of a kind NFT. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we just have just like prison transportation truck come up to it, and they walk Harvey out of the back of the paddy wagon, and like he's like half in the shadows for a lot of it, and like they kind of keep it kind of in like half darkness just to kind of add some mystique to the character, because essentially, yeah, like we're trying to see like can this cure Harvey of his condition. So yeah, Batman and Robin are just kind of like watching to see like what's gonna happen. I remind you guys, surgeries take like usually something between 8 to like I think like can go up to like 16 hours. Like so
Yeah.
Batman's just gonna sit there all night. Like it's gonna be morning by the time he gets off.
Well, say, yeah, yeah. I wondered if you'd like would go home like after that, or just stay up there if it end up going to like noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. Bruce, you want me to go get some like big belly burger? Oh yes, please.
Yeah. Hey, just call the fashion guy to come here, man. I don't have time for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, bring a catering truck. Like, you
Yeah,
want the
and
catering truck on the roof of the building? Yes, damn it.
yeah, you can get up in a helicopter, man. Like to have like four of them, man. Like what the fuck? One of them can carry it. You can carry it up here, man.
Yeah. So we cut to the inside of the operating room where they're looking over like x-rays and
And the doctor's explaining like we've talking about the operation and like you've it sounds like they've cured you of like the mental break side of things or whatever, and then like fixing the face will hopefully like flush out your two-face thing. And I think at this point in Gotham City with all the doctors, they wouldn't really. Yeah, I know with the doctors, they like you gotta trust your patients, but they really shouldn't fucking trust your patients in Gotham City. Because how many times have you thought they've tricked you in thinking that they've like reformed and they haven't, and they've just been like, suckers, yeah, this is my plan all along, and do some stupid scheme and get caught in like 2 days.
wasn't our very last episode about how Riddler like bragged about fooling the parole board and shit? Like
Oh yeah, that was the last episode. Yeah, so I knew it was recently, but yeah, case in point. Yeah.
yeah.
Last episode, this the exact same thing, but it was the Riddler instead of Two Face.
So yeah, she's leaning over the table as he's like kind of getting ready and says like and he says Bruce Wayne's footing the bill for this. Good old Bruce. You know, I remember when we used to hang out at Club Foreshadowing. I mean, Half Moon Club, and where we used to, dance the night away and pick up the ladies. And yeah, I can't believe that they're closing it down. But I guess some things don't last forever. So
Ever, ever, ever.
ever, Ella, 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 and Penguin will appear later in this. But yeah, as she's saying, like, and she's saying how like you'll have a chance to finally be whole again. You won't have big bad Harv anymore, and his eyes are closed as he's saying that, but like it focuses on the scarred side, and that's when he opens that yellow eyeball as soon as she says like you'll be whole again, right? Right?
Like my big ass like my big ass eye right here.
Yeah. You gotta think of like all the infections that like he must be getting like through that scarred tissue. Holy crap. But yeah, he gets the anesthetic gas and he's like starting to go under. And as they're about to get started, all of a sudden a bunch of the goons bust in these masked guys. And they kind of look like Society of Shadows members, like Ra's al
Yeah,
Ghul's. Yeah.
it, but definitely not the Foot Clan version though.
No. Get me Harvey Dent. Yeah, so he says like they make some comment about like his insurance ain't covering this. The boss wants him so he can teach him a lesson. And it's funny because like as Batman and Robin are like swinging in to, go after them because they realize what's going on. Uh, we see them pick up the sedated Harvey and like kind of like shoulder to shoulder like drag him out. And you see
Yeah,
the
yeah,
hospital gown.
we kind of burning his own, yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of weekend at Harvey's.
Oh yeah.
But it's funny because like as you're seeing like him dragged from behind, you see like the scars go all the way down to the leg. So does that mean that Harvey has a blue ass cheek?
Yeah, no, I thought you were going with that, but probably.
Yeah. They
But
ruined
is
my
it?
ass, Bruce. It was a beautiful ass.
It's not a great ass anymore.
Reminder, nearly Al Pacino. What could have been? But yeah,
That would have been interesting. Yeah,
they
I know.
go.
Yeah, that reminds me. Like, I remember the. Do you know of the like the ill-fated like Clerks cartoon? Like that lasts of like the 6 episodes or whatever. Like that. Like Kevin
I
Smith
think I
did.
heard of it.
Yeah, like it's funny that like as one of the characters that was made for the show was like Leonardo. Leonardo was like voiced by like Alec Baldwin.
What?
Yeah, and then and I guess he like the one time like him and Kevin Smith like crossed paths like years ago before obviously like the he went to like crazy and then accidentally shot somebody or whatever like they or whatever and then, like he and then Alec Baldwin was like, hey, I was the voice in your cartoon. And he's like, oh, you remember that? And he's like, no, but people tell me it all the time, so so it made me think of that. Yeah, it's that yeah, like he did it, but like I said it was like 6 episodes. He probably did it like in like 2 days or whatever, that sort of thing, or like a day or whatever. You probably could have found it out in a day if you really wanted to, and then completely forgot about it. Yeah, so it's
That
made me
wasn't
think of
me. That was my brother Billy.
that.
That's good. I know. I had no idea that he was in that. I do remember watching Bob's Burgers once and like hearing like the guy who's like the property manager or like the owner of like the dock where the store is, and I'm like, that guy sounds a lot like Kevin Kline, and then found out that's Kevin friggin' Kline.
Nice. I, I know like one of the channels at work airs that, but like haven't worked it in a while, so I'm not sure if I would have been able to pick out Kevin Kline's voice. Not sure if I've watched enough of his movies to have picked it out.
If you ever see him on screen, he looks like a mix between a clown and Colonel Sanders.
Still Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Kentucky Fried Comedy. Yeah, so Batman and Robin are like trying to chase them. They have like two getaway cars, and so I think Robin goes after one, and Batman goes after the other. The details of like what happened are kind of vague on me because it kind of went by pretty fast. I do remember that Batman took the bat cycle,
Yep.
and he was like running after one of the guys through like highway traffic, and I think is it Batman or Robin who finds out they got the dummy car?
As Batman got the dummy car because like
That's it.
because we follow Robin first and he like has he because he like and he started running and he jumps and ends up firing off the back grapple and I was like, oh, that's a cool move. I thought he was just going to pull like a Spider-Man and just like swing up, but he ends up was shooting at there was like a elevated train going subway going across, so he hit it and flung him and he jumped on top of that to get to like be like parallel with a car and whatnot and he jumped on it and then that ended up being him, but he ended up going to a tunnel, and then he ended up getting away, and then cuts to Batman where he was chasing the other vehicle, and he pulls up beside it, and you can tell he sees it, he kind of scowls a little bit, and you can tell that he thought he had the correct car, but he didn't. And then he like then it was one of like one of the scenes from like the new intro like he like goes on like other side of like a transport truck and like gets hit and then he like almost gets hit by another one and then puts breaks the bike and goes after it again and then think the other, yeah, I think does he stop the car or does the car end up getting away as well? I can't remember.
I can't remember. You know what? If I had to weigh a guess, just
I'm
based on
good.
my faulty memory, I'm gonna say that the car got away because how else would like the goons have gotten away with Harvey? So yeah, I'll go with that.
That's the thing. Like, yeah, like with Robin's car, yes, but like, I was saying with more with
Oh
like,
yeah,
with like Batman himself, I can remember if he like ended up stopping him and punching him a few times or not.
true.
But yeah, then it cuts to like them Batman and Robin again, and like he's obviously like a little pissed that somebody stole his friend or whatever. And then Batman and Robin's like, like sorry for letting him get away, and he's like, yeah, whatever. And he's like, yeah, don't don't I fucking wait, he said something about like, yeah, don't thank me all
Don't
at
be
once
too
or
hard on
something.
yourself
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
or something like that, or I think, or
Yeah, why would I
something.
be too hard on myself, Batman? My boss.
Yeah. Then he like then yeah, Robin jumps out, and then then Batman like closes the I wanted to say door, but it's not really like the door, but it's like the sliding like roof thing
It's a
or whatever.
horizontal door.
Yeah, the canopy, the canopy, I
Yeah.
guess, is more the more apt description, I suppose.
Now, before we cut to the next scene, I think we should also mention, like, as they're saying, like, who would want to kidnap him? So they theorize between the two of them that the two people who dislike Harvey the most would be either Rupert Thorne or Penguin. So obviously, Rupert Thorne.
Or I guess the most recently who would dislike
Yeah.
him.
Well, Rupert Thorne obviously being the guy who scarred him. And
But like, yeah, I guess if you go back far back with anybody, like yeah, everyone's pissed at everybody. So
yeah, it's Gotham. We've all stepped on each other's toes.
yeah. So it's just like what's happened most recently. Okay, so that's where you gotta keep everything in order.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think Robin decides to go after Rupert Thorne for more information, and Batman decides to go talk to the Penguin. So we have first Robin looking into Rupert Thorne. He's like on top of his mansion, and he's got this like glass cutter thing. I thought it was a window crank at first because I was like, that's like the weirdest glass cutter I've ever seen in my life. Like, but he's like about to open the window as far as Thorne's below him and like down by the fireplace, and a thug's like, "Oh yeah, what do you think you're doing here?" or something. So he brings Robin down. Robin manages to tuck the glass cutter into his glove, and Thorne's like, "I heard my boys found you outside, and like, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "I thought that you might be
Yeah,
after."
see.
Yeah, see? Rupert Thorne has always reminded me of Phil from The Sopranos. I did 20 years in the kit.
This might be another surprise. I haven't watched The Sopranos either.
Seriously, if you
Yeah.
just like have less than 5 minutes, just type in like Phil Leotardo or I think that's his last name. And there's a montage of how many times like he says like 20 years in the can. I did 20 years. And everybody asks, I'm sorry, Phil, how many years did you do? You never mentioned it. Like
20 years.
I wanted 20 years. I wanted Marigot. I compromised. I ate grilled cheese off the radiator instead.
Well, I guess there,
Trust me,
yeah,
he
there's
continues to say worse after
no,
that.
no, I was gonna say there's I suppose there's worse things to eat in jail, so
Eh,
yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
yeah, I
Oh
feel
yes,
like I feel
keep on
like
forgetting.
Thorne would get pushed around a lot in prison though. Like he acts tough, but that's mostly just because he's got goons. Like,
So that depends on how much weight his name goes in jail, really. So
yeah.
yeah, I keep on forgetting that like Richard Moll is the voice of Two-Face. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then yeah, then every time I think of that, I think of like Homestar Runner, like saying Richard Moll from. But I think I've asked you this, but you don't know if Homestar Runner, do you?
No, I do know Night Court. I know he was on Night
Okay.
Court.
Yeah. So Homestar is
So
pretty good. You should check it
I'll add that to the list.
out.
Add it to the list. So yeah, he says oh, trust me, I don't like Two-Face, but I wasn't gonna kill him. He never really explains. Oh no, he says that he had something else planned for him,
And
and
he's like,
then
well, so I'm going to do with you instead. And he's basically
yeah,
throw you into the fucking. Did he say cement shoes or just say like throw you into the river? I can't remember.
he said, well, he basically just like tied him up in the trunk. I
Well, yeah,
guess like
but I couldn't remember if like what the description was before he did that. I couldn't
oh,
remember.
the description.
I couldn't
I don't
remember.
think he implied cement shoes.
Yeah,
No.
okay, I could. Yeah, every time like I think of like getting thrown into the river, I think of that, and then makes me think of the Shadow movie, which also has Alec Baldwin in it or whatever, and that's how he saves like the one guy at the beginning. That's like the scientist or whatever that they decide that they're doing that. They actually legitimately give him like cement shoes, and they go throw him in the river, and then the Shadow comes and saves him, and that's the MacGuffin for the river because he goes to talk to him later on to talk about like the what the explosion is, and crazily enough, it's freaking Ian McClellan is in that movie too.
Ian McKellen
Yeah. He's like the
in the shadow.
yeah, he's like he's the scientist that's like making the bomb for the last descendant of Genghis Khan, Shinzon Khan or whatever the fuck his name is, or not Shinzon, or where the fuck his name was, the last descendant of Genghis Khan guy there, and he like mind
Well, I'll
controls him,
be.
whatever. Yeah,
Huh. There you
I know.
go.
Yeah. Even with the Alec Baldwin, like I don't mind that movie almost fucking nails it, but I still enjoy that movie. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
because I think yeah, like at the time, like he was like up for like the '89 Batman movie instead of Michael Keaton. So yeah, so that's why I think that's why he got the Shadow instead or whatever. That's like kind of a consolation sort of thing. Yeah, so it's like yeah, like that version of Alec Baldwin. Yeah, like yeah, probably could have like in an alternate universe probably could have been a decent Batman at the time. Yeah, I think.
yeah, but then Batman would have broken his no kill rule.
I should have said that I said like
I'd like to hope that's as dark as my humor is ever going to get on
yeah,
this
well,
show.
say like in the parallel universe, you have done that, then you probably wouldn't have had to do that like
Yeah,
that
true.
indie movie, and that wouldn't have happened. And then it would be Michael Keaton or one of his doubles shooting that guy person instead. So
Either way, Jensen Ackles walks away with PTSD.
yeah, oh fuck yeah, well, yeah, just like yeah, fucking everybody on that fucking set, I guess. Fuck.
Yeah. Not to go on a tangent, but I've never understood why they need to have live ammunition on these like film stuff.
That's the thing. That was the thing. Like it was, yeah, they were fucking around with a gun in between takes, and then just didn't fucking take it out. So for the movie itself, yeah, they didn't have live rounds,
Yeah.
but they're because they're fucking America. We got fucking guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we're fucking around with it and shooting things like in between takes and shit, and then shit happens. So
If Charlton Heston was still alive, they'd be asking him a question right after. What do you think happened? Like, well, I think that the gun killed him. That's what I think happened. Like, shit. Yeah. So, they're the thugs are like hauling Robin out, and he's like they used the glass cutter that he snuck into his glove to like cut himself free. But they haven't noticed that yet. So they're like taking him to the edge of the
Yeah,
bridge.
because he was like cutting it like before while he was in the trunk, and
Yeah.
then by like when they came to get him out, he put it back in his thing, back in his glove thing,
Mhm.
and then as he was they throw him off, he pulls back out and he's able to cut it, and then back grapple up, and they're like. We're just like in true comic form, we're not going to bother to check to see if he hits the water. He is dead. And then as they're just as they're getting into the car, you see him like swinging down into the and like yeah, kicks him like through the car and into the door and just freaking knocks them both out.
Yeah. So then we have Batman visiting the Penguin in I don't know if it's Arkham or if it's a Stonegate prison, but Penguin has access to a lot of birds. I mean,
What?
like we've
Uh,
joked
uh,
about Poison Ivy having like access to one plant. He's got like an entire like rookery.
Yeah, he's definitely one-upping Michael Tyson right now. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I guess he's Doves. So I guess,
Yeah.
but I guess would they ever put any of the supervillains not into Arkham?
I think that like if they're considered insane, they go to Arkham. But if
Well,
you're
that's the thing.
like,
Well, that's the thing, though.
yeah,
All the superheroes or supervillains are insane because that's why they're the supervillains, like
but they have
Joker,
to be
Two-Face.
legally declared insane.
Well,
That's the thing.
they all are though.
But is would you consider Penguin insane if he's like kind
Well,
of like
then why is he ever in Arkham then?
that's my point. I think that he might actually be in Stonegate here.
But well, that's the thing though. Well, if he thinks he's a fucking penguin, of course he's fucking insane.
We're kind of getting a chicken and the egg situation here.
But yeah, but I guess he is like the most sane out of all of them. But
Yeah,
as he thinks he's a fucking penguin and deals with birds, yeah, he still is insane. But
yeah,
like the smartest dumb guy is still fucking dumb.
yeah, yeah. Well, especially yeah, it's like the village idiot
Yeah.
in Gotham. It's like well, it's a whole village of idiots.
Or like or is like that movie Idiocracy or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Oh boy, we are paying for that punchline, aren't we? More and more.
I know that's and like that like the thing that's coming recently is like that's where like cracks like first came about. There's like they made something to like how it's fucking stupid shoes to be or whatever they never pick up, and then then they've
Yeah,
snaking its own tail.
such is life. Yeah, so Penguin is Penguin's like before Batman shows up, he's got like a conductor's wand, and he's just kind of like dance, my pretties, dance, and he's like making his like he's making his pigeons.
I'm fairly impressed he's actually able to get the birds to fucking dance.
Yeah, yeah, he's like put on a kind of a can show like that's all right, show me your plumage. And Batman says like, "Do you want me to come back another time from the outside?" He hasn't even broken it. We know by now that Batman could break in, but he's just outside of the window, like at the bars.
I think is it like lightning that's going on, or is it just like the camera painting, and you just kind of see like I think it's a flash because you don't see
Yeah,
him there, and then a flash, and then he shows up, and he's like, oh, blah blah. I think at this point, if you're a supervillain, I guess you're not going to be super surprised whenever Batman shows up to see you or whatever. So he's not really surprised.
yeah, and Penguin says like, "Oh, what are you doing here? Like, you waiting to eat insects or something?" I'm like, okay, yeah, Bat, get it." And he's like, "I want to know what you did with you Two-Face. You two have a rivalry." And it's kind of interesting because like it's something I've noticed like has they've had this kind of consistent rivalry between Penguin and Two-Face that's gone all the way to the Arkham games. And yet they've never really established a why. Like, I don't know, like I guess like for kind of adding a little bit of an extra layer to like the bad guys who won't work together. Like Two-Face and Harvey just seemed like I don't know, like colorful enough personalities like to have like a clash, but yeah, no, it was kind of interesting like kind of seeing like, oh wow, this has gone back like 30 years. Like yeah, so Penguin's like, no, I'm up behind that. Like I wouldn't be doing that to Two-Face. Like, I would want to kidnap a man who's unconscious. I would rather attack him like face to face to face.
So to
Eh?
speak.
Yeah,
Get it? Wink, wink.
yeah.
And then he's just like this. Wow. And he like, does
He
he like,
throws a bird at him.
or does he throw bird seed on it so that all the birds like attack him or what
I
is
don't
it?
think he threw bird seed. I think he just literally threw a bird. Like he just like was holding it and just went. And then like all the birds start attacking him. Like that's right, kill him, kill him. So you have this hilarious image of Batman on the side ledge of the building as like pigeons are attacking him.
Yeah, the most like innocuous, like docile, like animals that like or birds out there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I would say, like, because I live in Toronto, yeah, like how many times I fucking walk by those birds and they fucking one, they barely like fly away from you, let alone trying. I don't see them attacking it at all. But, but I guess that's why we were showing him earlier that he was able to actually like control them in some way. So I guess if you're like Lord of the Birds, you can like do your bidding. So
Oh my
which may
gosh. Penguin is Alfred Hitchcock.
actually, yeah, I think it was last year. That was one of the movies that was at the imagine like the $5 theater was the bird. So I hadn't seen that in a long time, and showed Sarah that movie. It was pretty good.
Actually, I think that Penguin would call Alfred Hitchcock like a barbarian of a human being. Seriously, look up half the stuff that Alfred Hitchcock did while he was making those movies, and like you'll just be like
Oh yeah, yeah,
on
it
the
was
floor.
yeah, it was the 50s and 60s and movies. As I'm like in the adjacent business, I'm aware of what should happen in those days,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't be surprised,
I think
unfortunately.
like they even said in an article like Alfred Hitchcock was part of the reason why they started actors unions because he
Probably,
was
yeah.
like abusing people in
Yeah,
every sense of the word.
yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about right. Yeah.
So as Batman's like fighting off the pigeons, I still can't not laugh saying that out loud. Penguin's saying to the spotlight person like he's over here, he's over here, and I just find it funny because it's like whether this is Arkham or Stonegate, like they'd be like whatever, yeah, Batman's here, yeah, he shows up like once a week, like so what, like he's like more regular visitor than like the Penguin's mom, like so and then it like it spots the spotlight on where like in front of Penguin's window, and of course he's gone because I don't know. I guess somehow he managed to overpower the pigeons. Um,
How could he ever do that?
he's anti pigeon spray. Like,
Yeah, yeah. So I want, yeah, it's one of his pouches is just bird seed. So he's just like, oh, I'll go over there,
yeah,
and then they'll go for it.
look, I have a hot dog. Go for it. So I think that's when we cut to Batman and Robin meeting up, and he says, "Did you find anything from Thorn?" He's like, "No." "Did you find anything from Penguin?" "No, but I know who did this." He's like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, follow me." So he goes to the scene of the crime where like the abduction happened, and he's got like the
Uh,
Cyclops visor.
and dare we say this is like the first instance of detective vision,
Ah, so it
right?
is.
Right? Because he was, I was like, oh, that's what I was saying. I thought as soon as he did that, yeah, I'm like, oh, it's detective vision.
It is Detective Vision. Good eye. Yeah. Excellent deduction work there.
Yeah, so yeah, so you like puts on these little goggly things or whatever as he said looks like the Cyclops visor, and he's pretty some stuff or whatever. Then he's able to like see like the footprints that are there because he was as he was doing that as he was explaining to Rob, and he's like yeah, like during the surgery they're all wear those little like surgery booties or whatever the fuck you want to call them on the thing for probably cleanliness and or static and whatever the fuck for whatever the reasoning was, I can't remember. And so like these footsteps would have been made by like by the guys, the thugs or whatever. And he's like, as I thought, and masonry dust. So he's like, I know where Harvey is. And they go back to the what was that club called again?
The Half Moon Club. Well,
Yeah.
like so Batman goes because at first Robin's like, "Let me come with you," because he's
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Who do you think kidnapped Two Face?" And he said, "His worst enemy." That's right. I kidnapped Two Face. No, but he says to Robin like, "I have to do this alone. You'll like stay out of it." Robin's like, "You're an idiot, but okay," and crosses his fingers behind his back. And so, yeah, as you mentioned, he goes to the Half Moon Club, this like half torn down skyscraper penthouse kind of club, and he's
Yeah, which kind of surprised me that the Gotham would like just let like an old building just be like the exposed like the top floor is just basically yeah, basically all exposed, and they were sort of like not rebuilt it or whatever, but because they don't really see like anything else, even with like all the explosions and stuff that all the supervillains have caused over the last couple of years. They seem to like rebuild fairly quickly and everything. So
Well, every time that like a citizen comes to the city council and says, "Hey, you got to work on this," they say, "Do you have any idea how long it takes to clean up a blown up Zeppelin?"
or like we have crews fucking working 24/7 just rebuilding all the just to keep up with like the everything else. So like so City Hall blows up every other fucking week and it still looks good all the time. So do you know how fucking hard it is to keep that shit up and let alone everything else? We can't go anything else that's
When's the
everything else
last time
that's
you saw Ace Chemicals? Yeah, that's right. It's blown up again.
Yeah, so if Batman happens to get all the supervillains in Arkham at the same time for once, like that, then maybe we'll have some time to fucking catch up, and then we'll be able to work on the backlog. But that's we have to reprioritize everything really. So
But why would we get rid of Batman? Meeting adjourned.
and then you hear somebody in the back just like he's helping us.
I think that Batman's paid off by the council. So so Batman's up at the Half Moon Club and he's like shouting in like the midst of like the debris. He's like, I know you're here and I know that you're behind the kidnapping. Show yourself. And we see this like figure that okay, this is as soon as he said Harvey's worst enemy, I was like, okay, I think I know where we're going with this. Because especially like going to like cutting back to that scene in the hospital where they say like, Harvey, no more darker half. Well, I mean, if you guys have seen Spider-Man No Way Home, where Dr. Octopus more or less says the same thing to Norman Osborn regarding the Green Goblin, it's like, yeah, no more evil side. That sounds great. Excuse me, I've got to go make some well, not pumpkin bombs, that's for sure. Like, so of course, yeah, he's like, show yourself, and he gets into a tussle with the silhouette. We realize like it's Two-Face. So if you guys need any like kind of like rope to kind of figure out like what happened here, obviously Two-Face is two personalities. Big Bad Harv kind of had like a survival instinct and basically thought, I'm going to arrange my own kidnapping. So, yeah, if I was those thugs, I'd be very nervous when it comes to kidnapping my own boss who has mood swings. It's like, is he going to be pissed when I do this or is he going to be happy? Either way, he's going to kill me. So I'm pretty much between a rock and a hard place.
A rock in two hard places, maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, they managed to like overpower Batman and I forget exactly what like Two-Face said before that, but like what it leads to is they're on this side of the building and there's like exposed metal beams and uh, there's like I guess it's like a chandelier with like Batman hung upside down and uh, like a thing of dynamite. So he's like, I'm gonna like blow the place sky high, and you're gonna be right here. And I think Batman says like, yeah, but you've got a coin, remember? And Two-Face says like, oh, I forget how he said like, yeah, like I would have figured it out. I wouldn't have figured it out as fast, but you had to leave two clues behind or something. Which I'm like, okay, I guess like
The two red herrings because like one of
that
them,
you, yeah, that's it.
one of them would have worked, but two, then because meaning both Rupert and Penguin.
Hmm. Yeah. So actually, when you think of it, like if Batman really wanted to go back, like there was that Gil Mason guy, like there's a bunch of people he could have investigated.
Exactly as I said, it's just a matter of who's the most happens to be the most recent. Yeah, so if it could be like go back 5 minutes, or it could be like go back 2 months to whoever's like third on the list or sort of thing or whatever.
There you go. Yeah. So he's like, I have to realize like it had to be your own worst enemy, and Two Face is like, "You're my worst enemy." It's like, yeah, your face is half scarred. Your ass is ruined.
Yeah, that's why you only show your chin because his reference all scarred.
Yeah,
So like that's it, guys. We got for good. Who's like who has a scarred face in Gotham? That's like that would yeah, that's just not the chin.
that's actually a good point. Yeah, when you think of I know like there was a phase of the joke, obviously not in this show, but like there was a phase of the Joker who was leaving like Chelsea smiles and stuff. All he needs to do is give Batman a Chelsea smile, and then just check to see who's you got like two giant scars on the side of their mouth, and it's like Batman.
Chill it. Oh yeah, I mean like Glasgow's smile, man. It's a Chelsea smile.
Yeah, that Chelsea smile is another name for Glasgow smile. Yeah,
Nah, it's chill.
I don't know. Maybe it happened in Chelsea, New York. I don't know. Like, but
Get it right.
yeah,
I think somebody else was saying that too recently. I don't know. I was like, what the fuck? It's a Glasgow, man. What the fuck?
yeah. Yeah. So he says, you're forgetting about your coin, Two Face. He's like, nah, 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 nah. And Two Face is like, ah, fine, flip the stupid coin. So yeah, this was, I didn't see this coming because he flips the coin and all of a sudden the coin lands on the edge.
No. Then as he's flipping it, he puts it obviously as per usual. He puts his hand out to catch it, and Batman's like, "No, let it hit the ground so I
Oh,
can
that was
see
it.
it."
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So then he hits it. Then it lands on the on its edge, and he's like, Uh, no, it has to be heads or tails. It can't. I saw how it can't land on its edge. If I could talk, yeah. So I gotta know, and then starts like he's already sounding agitated about that. So he tries to like two more times, and keeps on uh, landing on the edge. And as that's happening, you can see Batman's like picking the handcuffs out of the thing, and then ends up getting out, and then able to. Yeah, and as that's happening, like he flips it. The third time he flips it and lands on his edge, it rolls out to one of the exposed beams, and and then as Batman's just about to follow him, yeah, like it rolls off the edge, and he runs after and actually catches it and goes off the edge as well. And then Batman is able to grab him and grabs his hand, and he's telling Two Face that he needs to drop the coin. Like he needs to choose, and he's saying like, no, I need the coin to choose, and that's where you find out that like Batman said he switched coins when they were tussling earlier, so it's a fake. Yeah, that's how it was kept on landing on its edge. So there was actually a fake coin.
I would have loved Harvey to go, you two-faced son of a bitch.
He was like
I'm
going,
two-faced.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you call me Two Face, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I love that though, because yeah, and also we should mention like Robin has shown up to save Batman's ass. He's like, oh yeah, this is what it looks like handling it by yourself. Yeah, yeah, good thing that the boy Wonder's not here to save your ass. And as Batman's like holding on to Harvey, like dangling on the edge, he says like, Harvey, give me your other hand. And he's like, if I do, I drop the coin. He's like, well, you have to choose the coin or me. And we see like I love like Richard Moll's like drop in the vocal performance because like we haven't really talked about that. Like he does have like those undercurrents of like Harvey kind of coming through where he's like saying like Batman help me. And so he goes to reach for him, and then we see like this brief shot of like the scarred side just go never, and then just lets go, and he's like no. And that's when Batman like dives after him and of course catches him before he turns into a blue and peach colored puddle on the pavement. And so he like grabs the grapple and gets him to safety just as the bomb is about to go off and blows the shit out of the Gotham skyline.
So maybe now that it's like the destruction's at the top of the list, then they'll it'd be one of the new things to get remodeled, so it's not like bottom of the list now.
It's raining asbestos. Hallelujah.
or if we knew this was like a Two-Face hangout earlier, we would have remodeled this so you would have started hanging out here more, and then we would have gotten into the uh, back into the fold of remodeling every so often because that's how often we get exploded again.
There you go. Yeah, so the final scene is of Two-Face being brought. I can't remember if he was being brought to Arkham or if he was being brought to the hospital again. But yeah, he sees
It's Arkham, I think. Yeah.
it is Arkham. Okay. Yeah, so he sees Bruce and he says, "Good old Bruce, you're always there for me. You don't give up on me. Like it's good to have a good friend." And once again, like, why is Bruce sending him to Arkham? It's like the one time he thought that Arkham worked, and of course it didn't. Send him somewhere else.
It's just like in Chris Harley and Rangel too. I've got no place else to go because in Gotham there is no else to go.
We've done nothing, and we're all out of ideas, man.
Yeah, and then as Bruce and Dick are rocking down to the car, he's like, "Yeah, it's like just like I was there for him, you've been always there. You were there for me, Dick." There sort of thing. And just like thanking him for basically thanking him for coming and saving his ass sort of thing, even though he kind of was being a dick to him earlier, just saying like, "Hey, I'll deal with this myself," sort of thing.
Yeah, when Dick says you're being a dick, that's saying something.
Yeah. So yeah, so what would you give this out of five misdiagnoses?
I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5. I thought the animation was really good, and I thought it's a really good Two-Face episode, and yeah, it was nice to see like kind of like a little bit of a mystery. Um, I mean, towards the end, you can kind of figure it out, but at the same time, it really comes to a nice like climactic showdown where like it literally comes down to a cliffhanger of Batman saying like you've got to make a choice, Harvey. So yeah, no, I liked it. How about you?
Yeah, I give it a 3 out of 5 as well. It's a nice Two-Face episode, and like the fact that they actually show that they actually do try to rehabilitate these the supervillains instead of just throwing them in jail and just and like keeping them there until they end up breaking out sort of thing. But yeah, I think I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5 as well. All right, that is the episode for this week. Thanks everyone for joining us at the Batcave to talk about Batman at the animated series. Next week's episode is Harley's Holiday. And is this the episode where like Batman hangs out with Harley? Is that this one,
Maybe.
or is that or am I like conflating like is that like a different series? But I guess we'll find out. And you can follow us on Twitter/X at Beyond Backcast, on Instagram at Beyond the Backcast. We are on YouTube now at youtube.com/at Beyond the Backcast. Check us out there. Give us a rate, review, subscribe, or wherever you listen to your podcast. That would definitely help us out. Where can we find you on the internet, Brayton?
You can find me on my podcast, Fandom and Folklore, where we talk about fantasy movies and TV shows and the fandoms that follow them. Actually, just wrapping up our marathon of the How to Train Your Dragon series. And if you want to find out more about this show, you can go to our Instagram, Beyond the Backcast, go to our link tree, and you can enter the Batcave and talk all kinds of Batman nerdy fun with us.
And you can follow me at on Instagram and Stump Chunkman. That is my personal account there. And as I said, thanks for joining us in the Batcave to talk about Batman and the animated series at Beyond the Backcast. Goodbye, good chums. Kapow.